to discuss. When it come to news, ain't no better than us. When it come to news, ain't no one you can trust. We got a lot to touch, so it's time to crush. We got a lot to discuss. When it come to news, ain't no better than us. When it come to news, ain't no one you can trust. We got a lot to touch, so it's time to crush. So it's time to crush.
Peace and blessings, and welcome back to Xbox Frontline News with your boy, the King. And on this wonderful Thursday, I got a lot to be thankful for. But before we get to that, if it's your first time finding this channel, well, listen, you found your new best friend. If you love Xbox, if you love gaming, you found me, the King. Take my invitation to become a sub, because I drop videos every day, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, had a lot of information that went out today. And what I can say is we have new Xbox games that are rumored to be showing up. We have Marathon fighting for its life. And we have Sony selling themselves over to Netflix. Now, I know that sounds a little bit harsh, but I will get into the whole logistics of what that means when it comes to this deal that Sony has made. And this is Sony, not PlayStation. Sony has made with Netflix. It's incredible to see where we're going in this industry. Right now, when WB is being acquired by Netflix, Sony may not be too far behind. So more information came out today about Marathon. And I had a love-hate relationship with this thing. I didn't like the abstract story that they were trying to tell in the beginning when we first was introduced to the game. And then that leads to a lot of different stuff, and we're going to talk about that more. But the developers came out today on Marathon, Bungie, and they wanted to give a larger deep dive into what Marathon is turning into ahead of, I believe it's March release date. Now, the runners are now called runner shells, and I believe that you pick the shell that you want, which is 6 different shells. They showed some different shells today, like a medic shell, a combat medic shell. And they showed attributes that each shell is innate to their shell, right? Each attribute is innate to each shell. Like you have the destroyer, which runs around with a shield and he can catch aggro, and he has thruster boots and stuff like that. And there are different shells for different combat scenarios. I really like what the inputs that they're placing inside of these shells. The shells and archetype and the abilities showcase this way differently than how we would see it inside of another extraction shooter. My bigger question was always that. So the video today gave me a little bit more solace, and we're going to talk about more of this stuff in the end, because this video is primarily going to be about what's transpiring over at Bungie, and we know that the parent company is Sony, but this game is E for everyone, so a lot of the Xbox users are enthused as we sit back and take in all of the new information about this game. Now, I'm a huge Wolfenstein fan. Wolfenstein, whatever you want to call it, I'm a fan of it. Achtung. But apparently, Bethesda could be dropping a new Wolfenstein to us. Now, there are rumors that's going around, and Jez, my buddy, my friend, my pal of mine, heard that Wolfenstein 3 is in the cards from the studio. Now, it's most likely going to coincide with the upcoming Wolfenstein TV show that's on Amazon. With Amazon and Netflix battling it out, I don't know who's going to come out on top, but these shows will actually link to games, and we benefit the most because we get our wonderful IPs on the live screen, and we get a chance to play them with a controller in our hand. Are you a Starcraft purist? Are you a person that has been waiting for Starcraft to show up? Well, BlizzCon might have something to say about that. My man Jez Gordon is at it again. And Mr. Gordon is going crazy. Apparently, a new Starcraft shooter is likely to be revealed at BlizzCon 2026. This year looks like the long-rumored Starcraft game could be showing up. It was previously reported that Starcraft is getting a third-person shooter treatment, and, Jez confirmed this rumor through his own sources. Now, this game was reported to be a long time ago. I think it's like 2023. Well, here's holding out hope. Listen, y'all remember back in 2002 when StarCraft Ghost, the stealth action shooter, they actually showed some of it, but it was put on indefinite hold in March of 2006 before it got canceled. Listen, this could be the year that we actually get that game. I'm not gonna hold them to it because this is fun speculation. But a StarCraft game announced this year at BlizzCon will probably bring the roof down. Now, I'm glad you made it this far in the video. And listen, this is a Thursday video. It's kind of short. This is right before Fight Night Fridays, where we get busy playing fighting games. That's on the sister channel, Frontline Fighting Streams. Don't worry, we'll get to it. We'll get right with it. But Sony selling their distribution rights to all of their movies and digital identity to Netflix for $7+ billion was a complete shocker, but not really. I've always intimated that if Sony does sell to anyone, I thought Netflix would be the big buyer. With Sony being the main holdout when it came to movie theaters, seeing the huge decline when it comes to movie theaters, seeing the unrecoupable costs that they put out with movies, and they don't see that return on investment, this thing strikes a huge chord with Sony. In order to stay viable in this ever-changing digital world, Sony decided the best option was to sell a large portion, all of their rights, over to Netflix. Now, how does that affect the Disney Plus deal, what they have with Spider-Man? Well, as soon as those contracts run out, those movies will effectively, and that content will be yanked off of Disney Plus. With Netflix becoming the largest entity when it comes to digital media, I'm going to tell you, Netflix is strongly becoming the juggernaut I always knew they would be. If you thought Blockbuster was the only store closing down when it came to your man Netflix single-handedly destroyed VHS. Single-handedly. And right now, Netflix is on its way to destroying Hollywood, with one of the biggest pillars in Sony bending the knee and taking the big buyout from Netflix. I'm pretty sure that the rest of Hollywood is not far behind. And this strategy seems to be paying crazy dividends. Looking at what is to come. Now, we do know that Kratos is getting a TV show. I don't know how this deal affects that. That's on Amazon. Maybe once this deal runs its course, that is null and void. We're looking at a time now where what I told you before could possibly happen. if at any point in time there's a collapse over at Sony and PlayStation, well, I can see Netflix stepping in because Netflix does want to be in video games and purchases the PlayStation portion while also owning all the digital rights to all the IPs that they would make into games and movies. Think about it this way. A Ratchet and Clank anime, dope, incredible, and they have a game coinciding with it, and you just pick up your controller and jump in and play. This is a huge shocker. Sony sold out to Netflix. What does that mean for PlayStation? Now, with all the new marathon information that came out, I'm going to tell you, it kind of impressed the hell out of me. We got a whole lot of different thoughts of what they are actually, like what are the participants in the game, and they're called shells, runner shells, and you pick the runner shell that you want. That's your outer frame, right? And you can customize your play style. If you want to do different things, if you want to be stealthy, if you want to be tanky, well, there's a shell for you. And then there's cords and implants, and they tell you the difference in this VDOC that went up. Graphically, the game looks way better. No longer are the textures bland. They look like they have some substance to it, some shading to it. And looking at it, I'm gonna give you the basic rundown on what basic shells that they saw. They showed 6 different shells. They showed the runner shell, the destroyer shell. Now, that is a combat specialist, is armed with personal defense barricades, missiles, and movement thruster. The destroyer shells are designed to bring the fight to the enemy threats. Then you have the assassin shell. It's a shadow agent. Synthetic smoke deployment, camouflage technology allow assassin shells to plan unseen strikes or to take cover during hostile engagements. Then you have the recon shell, intel specialist. Recon shells excel at identifying threats, tracking movements, and using echo pulse tracker drones and holographic footstep trails. The combat specialist, the Vandal. The Vandal traverses ground at incredible speeds, uses their advanced movement and knockback cannon to disrupt combat. The Thief shell is a covert acquisitions. With enhanced visors and piloted butterfly drone, the thief shell can locate, acquire loot, then uses grappling to push an advantage or make an escape. Triage, the one that I'm most interested in, is a field medic. Triage shells help keep themselves and their allies alive using deployable healing drones and onboard reboot abilities and combat buffs. And the last but not least is the Rook, is a scavenger. The Rook frame is designed for scavenging mode, a unique way to play Marathon. As a Rook, you'll be able to drop into the match that is already in progress as a solo player. You won't be able to bring a loadout, but you also aren't at risk at losing anything, which makes the Rook an excellent option for scavengers. The game looks way better. What I can say is when I wasn't all that impressed, now I am more impressed with the game. I feel that the game is rounding the curve. The developers are hunkering down. They're listening to all the feedback and all the negative stuff that was being said, with it being too slow, not being great. The game looks better. This launch looks like it's going to be way more successful than Concord. I didn't think that they can suffer another Concord because that's not what the industry wants, needs, or desires. Concord, I felt that it could have been salvaged. This game is making sure that it doesn't get to that state where salvageability is necessary. This game looks like it's going to stand on its own. So far, everything that I've seen right now makes me highly, highly, highly excited for when we get the last little bit of information right before the final drop. With Xbox about to have one of the greatest years in any publisher's history, dare I say, it's about to get crazy. With thoughts of Wolfenstein showing up and Starcraft, I think right now, Bethesda, between Bethesda, Blizzard, and all the other developers that they have under the umbrella over at Microsoft, BlizzCon is going to be crazy. QuakeCon is going to be nuts. All the shows this year that Xbox is bringing out pretty much cements them as probably, I'm not going to lie, the go-to developer. Like when you want that real good game, when you're missing you have a void in your lineup for the year, with playing nice with PlayStation and Nintendo, I think the deal pans out. I think it makes its way to what's gonna be fantastic. Honestly, from this month with Game Pass alone, I mean, I got to jump back up into Village. And speaking of Resident Evil today would have shown Requiem. That will be tomorrow's video because this video is going up early for members, and I'm not going to hold you guys up for Requiem. I will digest that information and get that out to you guys tomorrow. From what I'm hearing, there should be a playable demo that should be dropping today. And if that playable demo does go up, well, then I will have gameplay footage of myself playing Resident Evil 9 Requiem. Well, I did get a chance to touch it while we was at Summer Games Fest. So I hope that demo is re-released. But I saw some new stuff today with Leon Kennedy and stuff like that. So again, that stuff looks incredible. It is shaping up to be one hell of a year with Marathon fighting for its life, showing something completely different than Arc Raiders. That's what I wanted to see. I wanted to see what you brought different to the extraction shooter space, other than the same old. No Escape from Tarkov, they do their thing. No Arc Raiders, they do their thing. Tell me what Marathon does and show me how great it can be. Well, this is Xbox Frontline News with your boy, the King. Man, this was a good one. Short, sweet, and nice while we get ready for the fight. Fight Night Friday is tomorrow, and it's going to be lit. Sorry I missed last week. I had some minor hiccups, but this week we back in effect, and we're going to get right to it. So I want you to do what I always do, what I try to do every day. I want you to go where game is game and win is win. And try to play the Game Pass.